heading to Ivan's house. Just finished a delicious breakfast. Mickey D's. Here we are at Ivan's, and you can see the Ivan Mobile. The mighty Subaru Crosstrek. I don't see any of the other boys' cars, so even though I'm late, I think I'm the first one here. And there it is. Ivan's man cave. Oh, the door's open. There's Ivan's backup man cave. Oh. The old skid plate relegated to living outdoors. Very sad. Good day.
Morning.
Morning. Hey, nice new toy.
Yes,
Very nice.
it is a toy.
Ooh, haven't cut off any fingers yet?
No, I haven't really had much time to play with it. It is a toy. Any self-respected machinist would laugh at this, me included. But
That's nice.
when you got limited space and you just want to do
Yeah.
bushings and shit, it's fine.
And the new valve cover for Chris's HP2 looks good. Chris has brought the missing part.
The missing part.
So the
Which they've
little
had put aside for like 6 months now.
the little
I'm surprised they
nub
still
right
had it.
there that we flattened. That is not much of a nub. Wow.
But I guess
All
it
right.
makes sense. There's no torque on that.
I guess
There's
if you're not an idiot, it's enough. That was a group idiot effort, though, I think.
Yes,
Yes.
it was. It was a lack of pain.
And now,
It was-
in 7 short years, Ivan could just make you one.
That's right.
Right.
Here we see the crash damage from Ivan's little spill. We got the handguards, tank, foot.
Ankle.
Oh, a little shavage on the Moscow. Not bad. Not bad at all.
Lucky the tank is still okay.
Ooh,
Big boxes from Germany.
those Germans.
Well, because that was where I found it the cheapest. The tail, just because I think I'm going to need one day.
I'm gonna break it for sure.
You never get enough tail.
Never enough. Brand new fuel tanks that I'm gonna put away into storage
Virgin
when you actually
bunghole.
break it. Yeah.
Yep.
because this bike I will never sell, and one day these will no longer be available.
Funny, I've heard somebody else say that.
Well, yours is going to last forever, sitting here in Ivan's garage.
It's just gonna preserve itself for a very long time.
Ivan has printed us all gifts. He will now demonstrate.
Washing these, drying these are a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I know. I always stick a bottle up. When mine opens,
Bottle?
Yeah, something
To keep it open, yeah.
to keep it open.
Yeah,
And like,
that's something else. Maybe I'd need to keep it open. I just shove a
So
paper
this
towel.
hooks in here.
So this, hook this wherever you want. Hook
Yeah.
this here, like so,
Ooh.
and then your tubey dingly do goes like so.
Oh. Oh.
fancy.
See?
Oh, but now you need something to keep the bag open.
Well, that's the thing. These are different than if you have a Camelback with the opening
it's
of the
kinda
hole.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I
so
had one like that, exactly
so-
like this.
so
where
I
it
didn't-
folds
I
over on the
didn't-
front.
Yeah, what I
go
did
to
is
that
I
extent.
I took a plastic coat hanger and I snapped it off, so I just have
Yeah,
one
just
arm,
something
and
to
then I
keep it
just shove
open.
it open, and it springs open inside it.
So push the bike up into the rain.
Hi folks, Riley from the Awesome Players Off-Road Motorcycle Club, and thanks once again for joining us. As you've probably figured out by now, we were back in Ivan's garage trying to get Chris's HP2 back together. We actually hadn't worked on the bike since the end of April, and it was now the end of September. So we had screwed up the previous time and flattened out that little nub on that cam chain gear. Chris had ordered the part, which was actually in stock, and it had been sitting at the dealer for months. So he had finally gone to pick it up. And now it was time to throw Ivan's bike out in the rain and get the HP2 up on the stand. Now, when we shoot these videos, as you can imagine, there's a lot of banter back and forth, so we do quite a bit of editing. And here you can see SuperDave has just walked in. So every time I make one of these videos, I have to make some decisions on what is appropriate for the wider audience and what's appropriate for the inner circle, shall we say. And when I was editing the part about the little 3D printed piece that Ivan gave us all, I came across a clip which I kind of hemmed and hawed on whether or not I should share it. So I'll share it as an example of some of the material that maybe normally doesn't make it into the videos. But I will warn you that if you're watching this with younger children, perhaps it's time for them to leave the room. But here, take a look at some of the actual humor of the Awesome Players Off-Road Motorcycle Club.
So what you may ask is this? Well, all the Awesome Players are getting older. So what this is for is this goes exactly where you think it goes, and then you hook your balls on here so they don't hang in the toilet water.
And now you see why we do so much editing in our videos. We actually had quite a bit we wanted to get done. Chris really wanted to get his motor put back together. We also wanted to do some repairs to the mounting system for his skid plate. And Dave had rolled in and wanted to get a new front tire on. Obviously, we all love riding motorcycles, and there's nothing better than getting together with your buddies to go riding. But I've got to say that over the years, I think I've come to enjoy working on the bikes with the rest of the players almost as much. There's something about being in a garage with a bunch of bikes and a bunch of tools, trying to get a bunch of repairs done that that just leads to a good time. And frequently, when it's all over and done and you look back at what you accomplished during the day, it can actually give you quite a feeling of accomplishment. I think for a lot of us as well who sit in an office all day tapping away at keyboards, there's something about working with your hands that you just don't get in the regular 9 to 5 for most of us. When you're at one of these maintenance days, and there's a lot of different jobs going on at the same time, the key thing is to figure out which one you want to be a part of. Over on the HP2, Ivan and Chris were trying to put this motor back together, re-time the camshaft without wrecking yet another sprocket, and I could hear them talking about top dead center and torque value settings. But meanwhile, over on the floor, Dave was changing a tire. And changing a tire is something in the Awesome Players we do a lot of, and doing it in a nice warm garage instead of on the side of the road with bugs biting your face in the dirt seemed like a much more appealing alternative than fumbling around in the guts of a boxer twin. So I decided to help Dave get his tire done. A maintenance day is as much a social event as it is a mechanical one, and throughout the day we would have quite a few visitors. Jason showed up with his fresh new baby.
New player.
Oh, wait.
Oh, fumble.
A little bit later, Marc Olivier dropped in. Despite all the visitors, work was actually getting done. The boys on the HP2 were making some good progress.
Let's do this again. You know, it helps when you don't put the wire through the center where they're supposed to be the
Where the
camshaft.
splines go.
Yeah.
Actually, there are no splines because otherwise it wouldn't have slipped.
Did you worry if somebody was
Okay.
going to take
Where?
organization from the
Are we happy? Are we happy? We have a plan.
I don't give a shit.
Is it a good plan?
I really.
as always maybe somebody
We don't know.
will take it on take what
Baldrick
the
did
from the
plan.
organization.
It's a cunning plan.
No, it's
cunning plan.
it all makes sense. I have a lot of faith.
Okay.
Trying to sell it to
We're doing the safety wire to the chain again.
Well, we're just
No, because
slightly concerned the gear might fall down inside the engine, which would suck.
so we're just putting a leash on it.
Why? You don't. They have them in stock.
Sure, it's more an issue of finding the gear inside the engine case.
Is it magnetic?
It is.
Over on Dave's bike, the tire change had gone really smoothly, and we were bolting everything back on and torquing to spec. Here you can see that Dave has written the torque specs right on the bike, which is pretty handy. And if you ever get sick of looking at them, a rag dipped in a little acetone will take that Sharpie right off.
Get in there, Bill. How many Newton hectares per deciliter?
65,000.
Not bad. Oh. It's up
Hey,
to
what were the brake calipers? Do you remember?
33.
Back at the HP2, it was the moment of truth. We were going to torque down the brand new cam chain sprocket.
Come on.
Ah,
That was
65.1. Overshot by 0.1.
Oh, and you work in the aerospace industry? They tolerate that kind of BS?
Yeah.
Then it was time for a blast from the past. Henrik showed up.
Good, good.
I would, but I can't.
This is your first hobo.
It's crocodile. it's crocodile Dunvegan.
How are you, man?
Good, yeah.
Good to see you.
Marc Olivier, he's ready with the DR.
All
New
right.
rider.
He knows pain.
And he
He
doesn't,
knows, mate. He knows.
he doesn't modify his DR, so it goes
Oh,
right.
it runs.
So it works well. No, he put a big tank on it. He put the.
Oh, no!
Oh, that's it. You ruined
But
it. It's working so far.
This was a little video clip that I found when I was going through the footage, and I think we've all been there. You're at someone else's garage, and you're looking through their toolbox trying to find something. Only took Chris about 30 seconds to find that missing socket. Eventually the crowd thinned out, and work started getting done.
There. Yeah.
Most important modification of the day. Go as low as you can.
Hang on a sec.
We call this the Dave modification.
Right.
I think there's still a layer of fiber there.
Yeah, there is. But now my fingers are out of the way. Keep going, keep going.
Okay, got it. Is it red? Is somebody bleeding?
Right, no, keep going. Do it again.
Again?
Yeah, because now I'm holding it. There we go. Got it.
It's Dave's.
Perfect.
Woo!
There we go.
You think Ivan's gonna mind us doing this to his boots?
Couldn't give a shit.
Because we don't know who's holding the drill. Notice how the second one was done
Put
with
it
a
in
lot
there, but
more
don't spin it. Just hold it.
confidence. Uh-oh. Dave, get your hand right near the drill bit.
Okay,
insurance.
go. That's it.
Nice.
And
You
Now-
sure this
now
is
I can
gonna
really
make
find
the
a hole.
Gore-Tex
Do it
work
again.
better?
got it.
Good.
Good.
Then it was time for another milestone. We were going to spin the HP2 motor through one complete revolution and see if anything hit. Because the last time we did this incorrectly, it wouldn't spin. So Ivan whipped out the wrench, and we'd see if this motor would go all the way around without anything
There we go.
bending.
Should be. These should be tight because now we're on the compression, exhaust, and intake stroke overlap.
Good.
I wasn't going to spend 500.
Nice.
And now we're going to do valve adjustment on the other side of the bike.
We were starting to get the feeling that the HP2 was almost back together, but it was time for a break and a little storytelling and a cold beer.
And then the brake rotor was a wave rotor. It cut the pin holding the pads. Holy shit.
Which one is it?
So how are they different?
They're keyed. See, the
Oh.
notches are different?
The nubbage is different?
Yeah, there's 3 different nubs.
Oh, those Germans.
Those Germans, they are smart.
Or they know we are dumb.
Now, just figuring out, I think this goes on that lug.
The next challenge was to drill out a couple of broken bolts on the bottom of the engine that held on Chris's skid plate. We had the genius idea of using a section of square steel tubing to kind of make a jig to guide us so that we could drill them out straight.
So, first hole. What size want to go?
15 millimeter?
I don't know.
20.
Just take the whole nub right off.
Yep. And then we'll just take it to the same machine shop and have a new one welded on.
The jig actually worked pretty well, and once we got the hole started, we removed it and finished the rest by hand. Sadly, at the end of yet another Awesome Players Off-Road Motorcycle Club maintenance day, Chris's bike was still not ready to run, so we would be back for what we hoped would just be one more day of wrenching before the mighty HP2 roared back into life.